Distinguished members of the Conversion Therapy Work Group, as a Virginia resident and a representative of the Trevor Project, thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts on the proposed regulation to end the discredited and dangerous practice of conversion therapy on minors. The ongoing reality of conversion therapy and its practice by licensed individuals in our state causes serious harms to LGBTQ youth every day. Speaking for myself, I clearly remember years I spent as a teenager trying to suppress and change my orientation. For a time using a technique that I learned about from a conversion therapist's website, snapping a rubber band on my wrist anytime a gay thought crossed my mind. It didn't change my orientation, but it did hurt. Physically, of course, but also emotionally and spiritually as I embraced a sense of shame that took years to overcome, and mentally as I continue to struggle to trust mental health professionals. Today, I am the Senior Fellow for Advocacy and Government Affairs for the Trevor Project, where ending the practice of conversion therapy is a top priority. As the leading national organization providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention services for LGBTQ youth, in the past year alone, we have been contacted by more than 2,500 young Virginians, making Virginia the state with the second highest rate of contacts in the South. Given that the South accounts for roughly 1/3 of our total volume, despite the lower population density, Virginia is a state where LGBTQ youth are disproportionately reaching out for help in moments of crisis and suicide ideation. Nationally, many of the young people that we serve are survivors of conversion therapy, or have a credible fear that their family members will compel them to go through conversion therapy. Supervisors for the Trevor Project's crisis services report that these issues come up regularly, as often as weekly. These impressions are borne out by data collected on Trevor Lifeline, Trevor Text, and Trevor Chat, as our records show that since 2010, hundreds of contacts have reached out to the Trevor Project with specific concerns around this practice, and terms like conversion therapy, reparative therapy, and ex-gay have appeared on our text-based platforms with disturbing frequency. Some of these LGBTQ youth contact us because their parents are threatening to send them to conversion therapy. Others call us because they are in conversion therapy, it is not working, and their feelings of isolation and failure contribute to suicidal thoughts and behaviors. We have had youth reach out because friends or loved ones are being subjected to conversion therapy. And finally, young people have come to the Trevor Project in a state of profound distress because someone they know has died by suicide during or after being subjected to conversion therapy. With regard to the NIFLA Supreme Court case and the free speech argument that we've heard today, I would tell you that it is important to distinguish between the Supreme Court's concerns about professional speech in the context of a case about statements that certain pregnancy centers would have been compelled to make, as opposed to regulations of conduct, practices, and treatment, which that same case actually affirmed is appropriate and the role of government. For these reasons, and on behalf of the youth who depend on our services, the Trevor Project is here today to declare that these practices cannot be allowed to continue. They can't change what we never chose. Thank you.